Hey, it's Tara and welcome back to my channel. So it's the start of September and I will be going through all the books I read in August. My goal is basically to get through 4 books a month, or like a book a week. So obviously if I manage to read more than 4 books a month, then that's fantastic, but my goal is 4 books a month. The reason why I'm not going to do like a monthly TBR video is because what I do when I pick out books is, in this jar, my TBR jar, I have the titles of all the books on my physical TBR. There is 195 books in here. So I literally, when I finish a book, I go in here, pick out a name, and that's the next book I'm reading. I know some people are like, I could never do that. Like, oh my god, it would put me in a slump. It does put me in slumps, but in the grand scheme of things, I want to read every book that I own. So I feel like this is the best way for me to get through it. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick all like my new books, and then all the old ones are just going to be left on the shelf and they're never going to get read. So now we're going to get into the 4 books I read in August. The first book that I finished in August was The Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School by Sonora Reyes. As you can tell, I annotated it. I don't annotate a lot of books. Like, I basically only annotate books that I know I will like. So like, I annotated all of Hunger Games and like the first Maze Runner book because I haven't gotten around to reading the rest of them. I've annotated all of Heartstopper, and there's like a couple others here and there. I read the first line of this and I was instantly like, yeah, this is a book I'm going to enjoy and I want to annotate it. So the first line is, 7 years of bad luck can slurp my ass. Random line, but I was like, this is going to be a funny book. Like this, it has comedy to it. So obviously it is a LGBTQA plus book. Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School. Obviously there's going to be a lesbian in it. I gave this 5 stars. I was not expecting to give it 5 stars, but I really enjoyed it and I annotated it quite a bit. I flew through this book. I would highly recommend. The next book I read was The Lucky List by Rachel Lippincott. So Rachel Lippincott is one of my favourite authors. She co-wrote Fault in Our Stars, which, oh, not Fault in Our Stars, 5 Feet Apart. I read 5 Feet Apart after watching the movie, and the movie made me bawl my eyes out the entire time, and the book didn't make me cry the entire time because I already knew what the story was, but if you've seen the movie or read the book and you know there are certain scenes in it that just break me, and I haven't seen the movie like basically since it came out, but it's still one of my favourites. I love Cole Sprouse. I don't actually remember what I rated this book. I know I rated 5 Feet Apart 5 stars and I rated All This Time 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I gave She Gets the Girl 3.5 or 4. Just because it was really good, don't get me wrong, but it didn't have the same feeling that 5 Feet Apart and All This Time gave me. And I'm pretty sure I gave this one 4. Rachel Lippincott's writing is so good and it's just so easy to understand and read, so I would highly recommend all of her work. 5 Feet Apart and All This Time I would recommend above the other 2, but all of them are great and I would highly recommend reading all of them. The next book I read is Girl Online Going Solo by Zoe Sugg. This is the 3rd and final book in the Girl Online trilogy. I read the first Girl Online like 2 years ago, and then I think I read the second one last year or the start of this year. I don't really remember. But I finally got around to the 3rd book, so I finished the trilogy now. So she actually has 2 series, I think, that I know of. I'm pretty sure there's only 2. So the Girl Online trilogy and then the Magpie Society duology. I would 1000% recommend you go read the Magpie Society. So there's 2 books, it's a duology. There's Magpie Society 1 for Sorrow, and then there's Magpie Society 2 for Joy. I loved that duology so much. I feel like this is an average series, and if you like Zoella or you just want to read what she's written, I would recommend it. It's not like mind-blowing series. It's not the best thing you've ever read. So yeah, I would recommend it. I don't remember what I gave all the books in this series. I think it's probably like 3.5. I think one of them got 4 maybe. I don't know, but I think they're all around a 3.5. And then the last book I read in August, so I did manage to hit my goal of 4 books, is Full Throttle by Joe Hill. Now, this is completely different to anything I've really read. So Joe Hill is actually a pen name or a pseudonym. I think that's the term for it. So this is Stephen King's son. It's a collection of short stories, 2 of which Stephen King helped write or co-wrote or whatever. I've never actually read any of Stephen King's work. I've got about 16 of them on the shelf, right here. I've got about 15 or so of his books. I haven't read them yet because, well, I haven't pulled them out of here. But I did pull this one out. Joe Hill even says in the introduction that he tried to write a bunch of other stuff, but he would always come back to some similar writing to his dad. So he just decided to roll with it. If Stephen King's writing is anything like this, I'm going to enjoy it, but some parts may be a struggle. Because the first 2 stories in this, the first 2 short stories, so Throttle, which was co-written by Stephen King, and Dark Carousel, actually, and the third one, Wolverton Station, all 3 of them have, it's very graphic. I think I gave this 3.25 stars? 3.75? Something like that. So these are the 4 books I read in August. I really enjoyed reading all of them. It took me, I kind of flew through the first 3 and then Full Throttle just I was just really slow reading it. And the book that I'm currently reading, which I started in August, but it will be in next month's, it will be my September, what I read in September video. So wait for the start of October for that. I'm hoping, my goal is to get these up at least in the first week of September. So it's currently the 3rd of September when I'm filming this video, so it should be up hopefully within a couple of days, because I'm only reading 4 books a month, it really shouldn't take long. It's not going to take long to film these videos, it's not going to take long to edit them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like and subscribe to my channel to see more from me. Turn on post notifications if you want to be notified of whenever I upload next. Thanks for watching.